Welcome! If you had a successful franchise, what would you do with it? A reboot, obviously. But when is that kind of repetition too much?
New Super Mario Bros. Was the first 2D platformer since World on the SNES, and the first platformer overall since Sunshine on the GameCube, and it brought back loads of old things whilst introducing 3D modelled graphics and 3 whole new power-ups. The shell, which makes you roll around and have an aneurysm. The mini mushroom, which makes you pointlessly small, but you can run on water and jump really floatily. And the Mega Mushroom, which allows Mario to grow to ridiculous size and commit genocide across the Mushroom Kingdom.
Well, I guess I probably ought to see what all this is about, except my copy didn't come with the box. And yes, it's as bad as you think.
Welcome to New Super Mario Bros., where the new part is that Bowser Jr. kidnaps Peach.
What kind of child is this?
Anyway, as usual, you platform your way from a grassy area to a desert filled with spiky things on fire, to a tropical beach with wet things, to a snowy area with snow, to a mountain with rocks, and finally, Bowser's Castle. Each area has a mid-castle and a boss castle where you fight Bowser Jr. or a random evil henchman. My main problem here is that if you play through the game normally, you only get to play through 6 worlds, which makes the game super short. But if you use a YouTube guide to find the secret exits, there are 2 more worlds.
Oh, thank God!
Either way, it only took a weekend to complete this one, so at least it was cheap due to being caseless.
So my final thoughts on New Super Mario Bros. It was fine, but next they announced New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and this one actually has a box. This was so similar to the first one, but it was the first one on a home console, and these graphics. At the time, this made me lose it compared to the first game, but in the world of HD, I guess it looks fine. The worlds are the same as the original, but each level is slightly longer, and they're all completely different. And there are also new power-ups again. Oh, thank God.
The Propeller Mushroom, which allows for speedy upwards and downwards motion. The Ice Flower, which lets you freeze enemies with ice balls. And the Penguin Suit, which allows ice balls to be thrown, and lets you slide around similarly to the Shell power-up from New Super Mario Bros., and I can tell you that at least one of these doesn't need to exist. Personally, I found this to be the most difficult of the series, which isn't saying much. Oh, and as for the story?
That damn child!
Bowser Jr. kidnaps a princess again as a way of pleasing his dad. And I can think of better Father's Day gifts. But he doesn't do it alone, because that would be just stupid. He does this with the help of the Koopalings, and fighting these was refreshing. They were all given shiny new 3D models, and it was great, but now they're just a lazy excuse not to make new villains. Mario also has a new move, the Spin Jump, and to activate this you shake the Wii remote.
We were so close!
Another new mechanic, beautifully hindered by motion controls.
Next we have New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS. Yeah, that's right, Wii wasn't the true sequel. I would really like an explanation of the lore at play here. And first thoughts? It's fucking yellow.
The whole gimmick here is that coins are abundant and superfluous. They have no use but are everywhere, and they make this game way too easy by granting hundreds of lives. Even though it has the easiest levels, it doesn't need the lives. It has all the same locations again, but the levels are even easier this time. I bought this on New Year's Eve and completed it before midnight the same day. I've never been more underwhelmed in my life.
But I can't forget the power-ups.
They added back Tanuki Mario from Super Mario Bros. 3. He can float and somewhat fly if you get a bit of a run-up. And there are also new versions of all other power-ups, mainly the Fire Flower, which turn everything into money. And that's New Super Mario Bros. 2.
Next they announced New Super Mario Bros. U, which looked like it was going to be brand new and revolutionary and completely different as it brought the series into HD on the new system, the Wii U. So, let's check this one out. It's just New Super Mario Bros. Again!
But the interesting thing here is that Bowser Jr. steals a castle.
Excuse me?
He throws you and the gang out to a field called Acorn Plains. And here the trees produce a local delicacy, the new power-up, the Acorn Suit, and I love this. Everything about this power-up is epic. I love the floatiness and the extra jump it grants. Oh, it is great at saving you from death, but it does make touching the top of the flagpole way too easy. The game also has an interconnected map where the same areas as before are given food-related names, like Layer Cake Desert. Traversing the whole thing brings you to Peach's Castle, where it plays a sinister version of the Peach's Castle theme from Super Mario 64, which is a nice touch, and then you get to play a standard lava level. I so wish they did more with this idea.
There was also a new Super Luigi U, a Luigi-based DLC where all the levels were really difficult and worked around the Luigi mechanics, and that was for New Super Mario Bros. U, and that was the most fun that I had with the series. But what if you love wasting money?
New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is the re-release of the remake of the remake of the remake of the reboot of Mario Bros., and it was fine. The only really notable addition here is the Invincible Nabbit as a playable character, and get this, he's invincible.
No way!
He can only die by falling into pits or into lava, but he can't use power-ups, and levels completed with him get a purple circle, which is a great way to punish people for trying out the new mechanics. There is also Peachette, who is a horrible monstrosity created by using the new power-up, a crown. Toadette turns into Peachette upon using this power-up, and it created way more porn than it was worth as a playable character. But the best part of the whole game, the inside of the box showcases the map. The game was okay, I guess, but it didn't really change up enough to be its own standalone game, and okay, I guess, really needs to stop being the bar for these games. But other than that, it was just you again, and for £50.
So that was New Super Mario Bros., and whilst the games are incredibly simple, they're really fun to play through and even more fun to speedrun. But I feel like each game didn't stand on its own enough for them to feel different. It just felt like the same game over and over again with different reskins of the same levels. And having played through all 5 games in the past week, my favourite fact about this series is that each game has a different coloured box.